Well, good morning, folks. This is Shippy the Explorer. And welcome to another day and another beautiful day and another chance to hear the recording or video of another topic. But I welcome you and it's a bleaky day, but I do welcome you on this day, and always trust that you're doing well, and hopefully that you're having a wonderful day. Well, I continue this series. Today we're going to continue the series of home, and you'll be surprised where I take it today. Since I'm in the Washington metropolitan area in the United States, I should just take the opportunity to bring you a taping of that great house. So I leave the treed area of Maryland and its comfort, and with my my ice rig and professional splash park. And if you know about tennis, that's the famous tennis where Theophilus, the young African American, this is where he started, is a JTCC Campus Drive, and that's where he started. So and now he's becoming a big star in our life. So the last tape we talked about the fact that I was trying to find I compared homes of various sizes and quality, and and it's also incorporated homelessness, and but to be truthful, I did not see a lot of homelessness in the metropolitan area. So I'll see where this leads me today and see what we'll find on this new exploration. So you'll see what I'll do. Instead of driving down, I'm going to pretend I'm going back to work, where I'll take the metro, and then we'll boogie into town together, and so to see what we can find. The great exploration is on the topic of homes. Where your heart lies, that's home, folks. So as we approach the metro station, this is the College Park Airport. The College Park metro station, and I must really want to travel. I'm calling it the airport. We see the new construction that I talked about the other day, and how the bus and the train will converge onto each other, and so there's a lot of construction going on down here, folks. So I can only imagine me doing this for 24 years of taking this route, and what you have is a card, and you just slide it onto the machines, and in the station it's not much different from all the stations in the world. You get upstairs and you make sure you're going in the right direction, and we want to go to the Branch Avenue side.
To allow customers to enter. When boarding, please move to the center of the car.
Sorry.
Step back, doors closing.
In the train. So you can see a lot of the developments are taking place. There's apartments that are situated around the metro. What they have is there's a chart that tells the pattern of the thing. We're actually on the green line, and we're gonna boogie our way down to Laughing Plaza, where we'll take the orange line up to Farragut West. Okay, so this is one of the old maps, folks. So I did this for 40-something years, 24 years of traveling on the metro, and it was an interesting thing to take the train, because if you're tired in the morning and also tired in the afternoon, and if your commute is fairly long, you would get a chance to rest, you know. So sometimes when I rest too much, I would pass my stop. I remember, and it happens very often when you're tired and you're on a rush, you have to miss the stop. Then you have to get back on, come off and get back on at another station. So this is Shippy the Explorer. If you're enjoying these tapes, I encourage you to share, like, share, and subscribe, and do try to watch these tapes to the end at times, because hopefully if they're entertaining, you want to share them. So we'll show you more highlights and more video as we go along and explore today.
Doors opening, step back to allow customers to exit.
This is La Fan Plaza, folks. And simply come off that green line. And I make my way down to the orange line. It's important that you follow, where you want to go. I want to go to Farragut West. So I look for the colors on this side of and I go to the appropriate side. So if I take that side, I'll be going to New Carlton. So I take this side and I make my way to this side. Okay. Alright, so then I make sure, then I check again, and I look for a sign that tells me that I'm on the right side. Okay. And here's a sign when the train is about to approach. If you're in Washington, you realize that there's a flashing that takes place on the platform. And that's an indication that the train is on its way. So we'll just so it has an approach. You can see it tends to slow down, and if you look in the front of the train, you can also see silver. It says silver. So if you're not sure, you go back to the track and make sure that the silver line runs also on this thing. And if you look, we're right here. And also the silver serves that track, so we want to go to Farragut North. Sorry.
Step back doors closing.
So here we are, folks. We're further west, and we're making my way out, upstairs and out to the street level. Underground structure of they did a honeycomb structure, so it gives it more strength and also cuts down on the noise. If you don't have enough money on your card to get out, getting out is a similar process as anywhere in the world, but in Australia I noticed that you get out like that. In Australia, I was saying they use a credit card system, so that makes it much easier. So since I'm here, I want to add more money to my card, so that when I'm ready to get out, so I'll just touch my card here, add value. It says how much is on my card, and I just add money. And as you add the money, you see the amount increases on the thing. Then you just touch your card again, and that money is, the value is added to the card. Always secure your card and your wallet, your passport, your telephone, and be always aware of where you are, no matter where you are in the world. So here we go. I've done this many times, folks, so it seems like it's easy for me. But if you're new, I'm sure it will give you a little bit of trouble to understand. But take your time and you'll get through. Now we're at the street level, and where to go is another question. That's the question. But since I know where to go, I'll make my way down. Make my way down 18th Street. I've worked in this area since 2010, folks. So some of it is new to me. But The basic street level, street pattern hasn't changed. The parking. So we are now in the heart of Washington, D.C. And we are exploring. Shippy the Explorer is on a mission today. And there she is, folks. This is the Great World Bank. This is headquarters. And here in 20-something years I've noticed this is homeless situation in front of you. And the World Bank seems like it's in the peak of its meeting, because it seems like there are a lot of people trying to get in. And the gray building across there is the IMF, also included that building also. So I make my way over. And see if I see somebody that I know. Oops. But this is the J building, and when I worked here, folks, I was aware that we had sometimes 32 buildings, sometimes come down to 18, depends on how much rental space and how much space we own. So, but it's 20,000. Back then it was 20,000. 2010 it was 20,000 people.
No, literally.
That worked at headquarters. And we're in the heart of the politics. Not even a block from the central operation of the world. So as I make my way along Pennsylvania Avenue, I'm going towards our destination, folks. And here are people catching up a good cup of coffee before they go to work. So Washington is a wonderful place to work and live, you know. So I'm bringing that to you today, folks. For those of you who weren't able to come to this great city, it has its problems, but we'll look for that later. So we're at the corner of Pennsylvania and 17th Street. And over there is the old executive building. I think part of it, at one time the government used this building to operate. Now, believe it or not, folks, this area, we were, in the old days, we were able to drive along this road, believe it or not. And as the security, as the security of the government gets more pressing, we realize that we had to do more protection as we go along.
Take a quick photo.
So, the security folks.
You're fine.
Got it?
Yep.
All right. So, the dog, they use the dog to smell for, you know. Now, when you're at the White House, you can see the monument from here. And for more security reasons, they have blocked out this, further blocked out this street. And blocking off the street is pretty interesting, because now you have the freedom to walk. And first, 20 years ago, we were able to drive along here, you know, and but then you couldn't stop. And now you want to get a park, and you can just walk along the pavilion. So, and even at this time of the day, we have hundreds of people are exploring. And we are getting closer and closer, folks, and closer. And here we are. The White House. All in its glory and splendor. Full glory and splendor. folks, the White House. The construction started in October of 1792 and the completion stopped at 1800. The lawn is meticulously taken care of, flowers, and if you get a chance to go inside, it's quite beautiful inside. Now, can you imagine, as an ordinary citizen, we can get as close as this to the seat of government? This is a remarkable gift that you can get this close. And as I said, 20, 30 years ago, we were able to walk around the White House. Now, this is the seat of government where the President of the United States resides. And we're back to the topic of home. This is home to our President. And we can only assume that his heart lies there. So where if his heart lies there for 4 years, that hopefully he's comfortable, he or she is comfortable. Right now we have a male in the seat. So we're assigned that he lives here for 4 years. And then the general election takes place, and then he or she has to vie for the ability or the privilege to represent this country for another 4. And after 2 terms, if they go in for two terms, then they are not allowed to run again. So if you know from the current situation, the general election is coming up, and we have Mr. Trump, who was president for 1 term. He's one to get back into the White House. And this dog is anxiously want to work his way. Look how hard is he working. He's trying to smell for, I'm sure you know he's smelling for explosive, any form of weapon, because we are currently in the height of maybe disturbance worldwide, and a lot of the directive is coming from this place. But the president, he lives here, and his family, and when you live somewhere, your meals are prepared, you take your shower, you get up in the morning, and you do your stuff. So that's your home. So for a period of time. But so how does he feel? Does he settle down after a few weeks and say, this is home, and this is where my heart lies, and so I'm calling it home and I feel comfortable? There are reports where some of the presidents, after a while, they say that they weren't as comfortable as they thought. Some even thought it was prison-like because of the lack of freedom of walking out of this environment. There's guards and the security system dictates what they do, folks. They just can't walk out on the street. I remember one report that one family said that they slipped out so they could join the people on the street, because a lot of times we have protests that goes on along this area. People are free to protest, and here we are.
One thing I never let nobody do to me when I was a little kid.
And even over here, we have many protests going on. Protest is going on over here, and there's even one time a lady spent over 20 years on the streets. So here is protesting. And it's an act of dedication, folks. Wow. Oh, sorry.
Donation.
Hi, you don't mind I film?
Who can stop you?
Well, that's true. Freedom of speech and freedom of protest.
Machine guns over there.
Right. So what's the this is worldwide. I'm Shippy the Explorer. This goes worldwide. So I'm doing the world. And so what's your main gist?
Anti-nuclear peace.
So this gentleman is dedicated, and I'm sure he has been out here days after days.
Well, we have some young people doing it more than me.
Okay.
I'm an old guy.
But he's protesting the anti-nuclear peace and vigil issue.
Not the answer.
Some of it deals with war is not the answer. Thank you. The William Thomas Memorial Anti-Nuclear Peace Vigil. And that's what it's all about. Because I can tell you, as Shippy the Explorer, the ability to have nuclear weapons is one of the worst thing that man, I'll say it, is one of the worst thing that man has ever created. They have dipped themselves into a situation where they can't even use those weapons anymore. Because if we start to use them, then it's the annihilation of the world. So why do we have them?
It's a threat.
It's a threat to the world, threat to human being. And Mr. Thomas is protesting. So over here we have a better view of the White House. And I work just a block up the street, so I'm familiar with the place. So this is called the People's House. And I'm not sure if we are free to we are free to tour around and look But you're not so free to go back in, just walk in, as in the old days. In the old days, I was able to walk on that street down there. So, okay, Mr. Williams.
Start the rain again?
Yes. All right. Here we go. A couple, well, extra. All right. Thank you. Thanks. All right. Okay. Oh boy. So let's go back. Best thing I do is go back over and take you on a walk around the White House.
Okay, and then I'll try.
If you look carefully, then you have the Washington Monument. And the Washington Monument is the tallest structure in Washington, D.C. Nobody's allowed to build higher than that.
Your turn, Randy.
So, see, the dogs are all over the place, folks. They're checking and rechecking to see. Good.
Yeah, that's the only way. They still don't.
So that's the end of a tour. You are able to get scheduled visits, and these people just finish visiting. You go into one section and you come out at the other section. So let's here we are, folks. 30 years ago, this street was open, and I remember walking down here, but it is now closed. All right.
Well, they'll give you options anyway.
All sorts of transportation.
Oh, come on, man. You're making this guy.
Wow.
No, you can't do that.
Lots of excitement in Washington, D.C. Albert Gallatin, Secretary of the Treasury. So if you have your young people do their education and get smart and join the military or join the government and become prominent people, you might be able to get a statue placed in some square of yourself for perpetuate, for everlasting time. So we are basically making rounds around the block, and the block incorporates the whole Treasury Department and the White House. Oops, sorry. So the topic is still remind you, Shippy the Explorer is still reminding you that the topic is still home. And we, as the citizens of this country, do we regard the White House as our home? Not as much, I would think, because of the accessibility to the place. You can schedule visits, and you're able to get inside. But full access is not the ultimate goal. But I guess you have to allow certain amount of protection. Now, one thing that occurred to me when I first came, this is the first city I landed in the United States. One of the things that occurred to me was the massive structure. That's the first impression I got when I came off the how massive these buildings. They take up an entire block. And that was the impression I got when I first. This is the famous Washington, Hotel Washington. Looks a little bit cold, but I'm sure quite expensive to rent or to live in. So we're making our way around the block. This is part of the Civil War to Civil Rights Downtown Heritage Trail, and it's a sign of Lincoln's face. Actually, Lincoln was shot just across the street in a hotel, in a theater, just down over there. And that's the whole post office, the tower, clock tower of the old post office. And if you know watch your news, you know that our ex-Donald Trump had owned that building for a short time. This is the East Gate pass holders and appointments only. That means these people, they have gotten past to visit the White House and they're waiting for their turn to enter. And the line is long, folks. The line goes around and it goes around, and it's quite an ordeal to get into for a visit.
Wait, what is it? You're spinning me around like my world.
And look at that. Dozens of more people, hundreds of people are coming to visit. Says the sidewalk is closed. The White House South View. So I'll just make my way to the South View. One impression that I get is you can see where you can really feel the power of the seat of the presidency with the amount of security and vehicles and armory. And believe me, armory, folks, that goes towards protection of this building and its government. And it never stops. You know, it's security folks are everywhere, you know. So, and this is, so we have approached the monument, the Washington Monument. We are winding our way around the White House. And by now you can realize by walking, I'm able to get closer, get a closer view of the facilities. And this is called the Ellipse. We used to use this for concerts, and believe it or not, I have a connection to, well, we probably won't say that, but the last time the Caribbean folks used this, the ability to use the Ellipse to keep concerts and festivals has stopped because we had an incident. And the authorities didn't like that, so they stopped people from using it, ordinary people. But now in Christmas time, we have the big lighting of the Christmas tree in this region. So, hopefully you're enjoying this tour, folks. This is Shippy the Explorer, taking you on a tour of the White House, the People's House, the seat of government for United States, and later on we'll talk about that. It's the United States government is a three-pronged operation. You have the legislative branch, the judiciary branch, and the executive branch. And the White House represents the executive branch. And the laws of this country are proposed or are set forward in the legislative section, and they are passed up through the ranks with discussions and all sorts of things, and eventually it goes to the executive branch, where the president either signed that law or sign against it. The right term I'm not using, but so here is the southern view of the People's House. Started 1792 and ended 1800. And it would be interesting to know if some of these trees are that old. When I used to take people along here, visitors, it was my privilege to take them on the south side of this building. I always thought this view was the most remarkable view. And then from the White House you can look directly on the Washington Monument, and also on I don't think that's one of the president's monument. But that green space over there is called the mall. And that building right there, the dark brown building, is the latest museum. And the African American and African American cultural museum, proposed maybe 100 and something years ago, and as history tells you, now you realize it's one of the last museum institute that has been constructed on the mall. But the time it ended up in one of the best spots in the city.
They're all like we can walk around to the other side.
I've gotten within a few feet of President Obama, but that was in another country.
Oh, Ellie, they have White House bees.
No.
Your favorite.
So now that I show you now that I show you the White House, would you want to live in this structure? I would, because of the seemingly comfort that it offers, although it's restricted. And lately, if you know, the authorities took the lower fence down some time ago, and we constructed a taller fence because of the potential of climbing over these fences, folks. But what it has done is taken away some of the view of the beauty of the place.
On his chest. Because
And over there is quite comfortable for the president to a certain extent, because there's a golf course, there's exercise facilities. It's quite big.
See the guy on top of the White House? There's a guy with like an orange right. Wait, how do we get in front of him? We are in front of his. No worries. Then why? Here, how to Pablo get closer?
So let's continue or make our way around the block. And here we go, there's a national airport that's just over the river, and planes come in and land. So diplomats come in and diplomats go, and visitors come, visitors go. So it makes it quite easy for people to get into town. Oh, I should have gone over there. That's what I should have done. Here we go, folks, as we wait for the lights to change so I can cross the street. I'm demonstrating the newest museum in town, the African American and Cultural. And some people, I have connection there, folks. I'm privileged to say that my daughter is one of the main workers in this building as an anthropologist. And I know she has the privilege of working across from the monument, and I would imagine part of the day it's home for her. And I know she is privileged and proud to be an employee of this structure. If you have a time to get into Washington, you 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 will be amazed to take a tour of this institution. It brings out the emotions in you. Now the Washington Monument, believe it or not folks, this is a free standing structure. Blocks upon blocks, no steel, just I guess some mortar and the joints, and they stack it up until they reach the top. So Washington, you look back, it's massive, expansive. The buildings are large. As you could come down to Washington and you spend days, maybe a month, maybe a two, if you had the money, and you still wouldn't be able to get through all the museums and the facilities they have to tour, the gardens, the artifacts, you know, the zoo, the government. It's amazing. And as you can see, all around town, people are taking advantage of this opportunity. Schools, school trips, private families. I tell you, country delegations. Lots to see, folks. This is Shippy the Explorer, and we are touring parts of Washington, D.C., but today we're concentrating around the People's House, the White House, just to continue another chapter of Where Your Heart Lies. It's home, folks. Okay. We missed that. So we're still in Washington, folks. Shippey the Explorer touring around. And we just, the security is everywhere. So missed an opportunity to really show how the security system, well, not to show the security, but how the, when you have a dignitary in town, how they line up to come visiting. So that we just missed.
Behold the Treasury building.
Thank you. And now it's getting to midday, and it's getting crowded, more crowded, because more people are in town. This used to be the bank. This building is actually on the money, and a lot of delegates coming into town to
making fun of Pop again?
Okay. Wow. Hundreds of people, folks. Okay. From all sorts, from all kind of countries all over the world. They're in Washington to so we're going to explore a little bit more.
I didn't see him, so I don't know.
I'm so really surprised that I don't see a lot of homelessness in the city. I think the something is really improving with this society. People are getting work, or people are homeless. The homeless is staying off the street or something. It was the first time years ago you would have people all along this park sleeping and resting on the benches. But it seems like there's marked improvement. Yes, like things are getting better. Yes, things are getting better. these great statues around town. Saratoga. Now here is a structure. This is the famous St. John's Church that you find that whenever the president gets inaugurated, they come to worship at the St. John's Church. So this is the St. John's Church for you. That's the chapel, and this must be the hall, I think, side building. And it's being worked on. So we're getting a little bit further away from the White House, but still yet, even at this, from this vantage point, we can zoom down. This is even a better shot of the building. The People's House. So can you imagine in 1792 when they decided to build this building, or before, how elaborate they thought of building that structure. It's quite good. And this is the, if you know about Black Lives Matter, this is the Black Lives Matter Plaza. Oops. All right, on it. St. John's Church is being worked on. Bell Tower restoration. Wow. This is Black Lives Matter Pavilion, folks. It's hard to see. You can see this is R, this is E, T, T, M, A, T, T, E, R, right over here. And Black Lives down the bottom. The construction is going on, so you won't see much. So Washington is beautiful, folks.
I found the search like
this way. Wow. All around town, everybody looks like they're diplomat. Everybody seems like they're about something very important. They are representing themselves, their country, and their district. So the collaboration and the business-like atmosphere of Washington is something to behold, folks. Chamber of Commerce.
I agree. She could have said it better, but her point was fundamentally.
So I'm making my way, cutting across Connecticut Avenue. Let's call the office of the White House. So, if you live in the White House, would you feel comfortable? Or how would you feel if you live in the White House? So, that's the question. That's the operative question. I certainly would feel important, and most of us, the rule of the United States is that if you're born outside the country, you can't become a president. So that's the only stipulation we have on most of us. You have to be a person that's a true born citizen. And that's the rules and regulations. So we can only, as created citizens, we can just accept the reality that we are the limitation to things. That's what it's all about. So as we get out of town, I trust that you have been informed and entertained today. This is Shipley the Explorer. I'm so happy that I take you on to the People's House, and just to allow you to see if you can feel connected to the place. If you have just a simple affiliation to the White House, no matter what is happening in the world, when you come to the White House, you feel the magnitude of the place, the beauty, the power, and the strength. So even that, you get attached to the whole place. So if you like these videos, do like, do share, and I'm always saying, subscribe, folks. This is Washington, D.C. So there's a tour, folks. So as I look back on my World Bank where I used to work. And this is a closing off this video at this moment, because in a few minutes I'll be taking the metro, and that's it. Make my way back. So thanks for watching, and if you really like these this video, do share and subscribe, folks, and trust that you have learned something, and now you're more connected to the People's House or the White House or of United States of America. Feel the power, folks. Bye for now. This time I make sure I'm on the opposite side. Wow.